Good afternoon and welcome to More Meets the Eye. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today we're going to be talking about the G.I. Joe classified Haslab Dragonfly. In the previous video of the review that we were talking about, we discussed the exterior of the Dragonfly. In today's review, we are going to discuss the interior of the Dragonfly, and we are also going to discuss the accessories, and if we have time, we will talk about Wild Bill. Hi, Creed. Yes, I love you too. So we also got our co-host Cream the Cat with us today. He's guaranteed to shed on things. It's summertime in Florida again, even though the calendar says it's November. Try convincing the weather of that. Now, if you don't know where you found yourself in More Than Meets the Eye. And at this channel, I am a blind person, and I review things from a blind perspective, which means that we don't discuss about the things that your eyes can see. So I'm not going to talk about the color of it. I'm not going to talk about the paintwork or the etchings. I'm going to talk about the sculpting and the molding and how it feels in the hand. And does it feel solid? Does it have waffling? And those such things. We discussed the full exterior of the Dragonfly in the last video. I did manage to get that done. And the video happened to reach its maximum recording size when I was trying to get at Wild Bill in here. And I figured that was just, no matter what, that was a good way to end the video. Moving on to Wild Bill. And now we're here with Wild Bill. Please, if you wouldn't mind, go below. Do all the things everyone else asks you to do politely. And I will ask you politely, please go below, like, share, and subscribe. Everything you do down in the channel with interactions does help me achieve my goals of reaching more blind and visually impaired people, and also raising awareness for the blind by showcasing these things, of reviews from a blind perspective to individuals who may not necessarily ever even think about the blind. People who are surprised that a blind guy is here talking about a dragonfly. And like, wait, what does a blind guy see in the dragonfly? Yeah, that's what I want people to ask. How can a blind person enjoy these things? And I showcase how a blind person enjoys these things so that, if you're not a visually impaired person, then you can better understand how a visually impaired person does some of the things they do. And I also showcase things on this channel from all perspectives of how I do things as a blind person. So please, check out more of my channel if you're a first timer. And if you have any questions, ask them in the comments below. Don't be scared. Ask me anything, and I'll answer to the best of my ability. And if I can't answer it, I'll tell you such. But without further ado, I'm Blind Prime, and this is Cream the Cat. He is my co-host, and he also is my lighting cat. And he's currently all the way over here trying to destroy something, I bet. I'm not exactly sure, but it's always the case with him. There's something always going on in that cat's head. So let's get talking about the interior of this, and I want to first start off by talking about the seat belts. Now, some people have mentioned, I have heard from some, that the seat belts have broken. Now, I want to discuss when it comes to getting Wild Bill in and out of this seatbelt. I've discovered the best way is to pull off his hair, not his sunglasses. For the love of God, don't mess with those sunglasses. Those aren't the best in the world. They think they failed us with sunglasses for Wild Bill. Now, let's go ahead and... So I'm using sticky tack to hold mine up. Let's go ahead and pull the seatbelt above him. Nuts. His sunglasses came off. I was trying not to have that happen, but it's okay. We can set the sunglasses down in a place that's safe, if such a place exists, because I have Cream in the house. We're going to set it down in here amongst all these other accessories from the other people. Or no, we'll just set it on there next to his hat hair. Yeah, he truly has hat hair, because it's hair that comes with the hat. Okay, puns aside, let's try and get him out of this. Now, pulling up the tops carefully after taking his headgear off. And then we can come down here to his arm, and we're going to pull his arm off the joystick. Get your arm off the joystick, sir. Now, a negative to the cockpit is that you deposited a huge chunk of cat hair in my nose, so I just sucked up a huge chunk. Oh man, I really wish that the weather had stayed cool, because I thought we were done with the shedding for the year. All right, pulling him out. me get this. We got to be careful. You want to remember that his guns on either side of his belt can get caught um, in his what in the world is going on here? Okay, there we go. In the seatbelt. So you want to make sure you pull them out carefully and they don't get caught in the seatbelt, because I have a feeling when some people are talking about their seatbelt breaking that it may be getting caught on these six guns. You know, his gunslinger thing, and getting ripped out. So we're going to set him off to the side and talk about him later. We're just going to set him amongst the Sidewinder missiles that I've piled up on the side to make it a little easier for me to get in here. Okay, now to talk about textures. So the seatbelt textures are a bit lacking. They got some neat textures to them, but not really something to write home about until you get here to the connection points. It feels thinner than the seatbelts that they used for the Hiss tank, and we will have a separate video where I will be comparing the Dragonfly to the Hiss tank, because I feel like that will take its own, because I do want to go in depth and do a nice compare contrast Haslab number 1 versus Haslab number 2. That will be its own video. So these things can actually be stored inside the seat by shoving them up, and you can kind of rest the seatbelt up at the top one, and then you shove the bottom one down in there, and it kind of rests below. Then you could set the characters in here without using the seatbelts if you so prefer. Um, I've been doing videos for a while today, so I'm getting tongue-tied. I'm getting tired. Let's continue. The seat here on the inside, if I can pick it up just a bit, let's do our best to show you the interior. Is made of some sort of faux leather feeling material. It doesn't feel bad. They did a good job with the textures there. We got shinier bits and less shiny bits by the texture of it. We got little spacing between things. The seat goes up all the way. We got some padding for the back of his head, and then there's a cut below it so that his between the headrest and the lower, so the edge of his hat can actually rest there. The cut is the same for the front seat as well, and the joystick feels all right in the hand. Oh, didn't mean to do that. It's set that back there. So the joystick is on a ball joint. It allows you to rotate it. Not 360 well, wait, you can rotate it 360 degrees if you're careful. It's really neat how versatile this joystick is. It can go all over the cockpit. I do love the joystick, and I love the little diodes and stuff on the front. I do think that they could have done a little better with the screens. Though the screens have some decent textures to them. Can't really get the screens too well. I'm trying my best, but I wonder what's actually on them, if they painted anything on them or not. But the textures of them are really good. There's some fun textures going on all over the place. Though I do wish they had added a few more like switches and stuff. I make it more mechanical. I do like what they've done with the interior until we get to this little handle. There is on one side not really anything except some little switches and stuff on. So for his right hand would be resting on a bunch of switches, and I'm assuming they're switches for missiles. That closed itself. And I'm assuming they're switches for missiles. But the other side has this little throttle stick. And the thing about the throttle stick is it's very similar to the one in the Vamp and the Stinger, but it's thinner, and it's too far down in my opinion. It's too flush with the seat. If they had made that even, like 4 centimeters taller, I'd say, let's see, 1 stud, 2 stud, yeah, three Lego studs taller. It would be so much easier for me to get Wild Bill's hand into that stupid joystick. It's a little too thin, and it's really annoying to get a figure's hand into that. And I think had they given us a little more space there by raising that section up, it would be a lot easier to plug his hand in. But it's difficult to get in there. And I realized they couldn't have really raised it up too much more because of this cut in the side, and how this divot where the gun is and stuff is where the inside of the cockpit folds in to allow the joystick to move back and forth. But if it was a little taller, it would actually be getting caught on this outside panel and that is the interior of the vehicle. Now, the interior side for the parts that are actually, you know, the outside that are just on the inside are really polished well. I don't know how they could have done more textures with that or not. I think they did the best they could with the cockpit, and I do think the cockpit has some really great textures to it, and it feels really good. And my only negative to it is that little handle, and I think they could have done a little better with that. But otherwise, very amazing here. Even going so far as, let's see, uh, did they? No, they didn't put any texture on the joystick handle itself, which is a shame. Which is a shame. Now, coming down here to the gunner seat, the gunner is the exact mirror of the pilot's seat, which is a negative in my opinion. I think the gunner should have gotten another joystick to control the gun, the chain gun with. She got a throttle stick, just like the Wild Bill did. But since her hands are a bit smaller and her arms are thinner, it was actually easier to get Glenda's hand over that stick than it is to get Wild Bill's. So Glenda's holding on to it, and the joystick. And Wild Bill is it's harder for him to do that. The screens in front of Glenda are a bit more interesting. It's the same number. We've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's just that they have, they seem to also have a few little diodes on top that aren't. Oh no, wait, they are on top of the other ones. So they can't. The control panels are just copies of each other. And I would have liked some asymmetry there. I would like something asymmetrical where the lower cockpit was different than the upper cockpit. Now, it may be the case that in real life both cockpits are exactly the same, or it may be the case they were copying the original figure from the 80s. I've never actually laid hands on that, so I don't know. But let me know in the comments what's going on. Why didn't they do asymmetry there? There's a good reason, I bet. Now, the area where the canopy connects is very smooth and nice. It's actually got a few vents in there for the vents to control defrost on the mirrors, on the windows. And I love that they included the defrosting vents. They're in there, and they didn't need to add the defrosting vents, but they added the defrosting vents. That's cool. So let's go ahead and close this canopy up and move on to talking about the accessories that he comes with. I'll talk about one side. I'll talk about the side that the gunner can climb into, I think. Yeah, because the side the gunner can climb into also has an additional port on it that the other side is lacking. Now, we talked about how in the previous video, we discussed the Sidewinder missiles and how they plugged into the tips of the wings because I wanted to remove them, and how there's these Hemingway connectors on the tips of the wings. Now, on the underside of the wings, they did not do, not Hemingway, herringbone connectors. They did not do herringbone connectors for the underside of the wings, and I don't know why they chose that. You've got herringbone connectors for everything else but that. Now, the cylinder missile pod is the solid connection, and the connection point is just the kind of a rectangle, and it's got a little ledge on each side. And then we come over here to the TOW missiles. Now, we talked about the cylinder missile system in the last video, but we didn't mention the blast effects, and we're going to be talking about a few of the blast effects now. We've got not that blast effect. We need not that blast effect. So there are multiple different types of blast effects you get with this. Where are my other blast effects? There's one of them. The other one is MIA. It's okay. I'll find it eventually. So you get 2 blast effects with smaller pins in the bottom, and you get 2 blast effects with thicker pins. But these are the same blast effects. It's kind of a shame because it does make it difficult to tell. But the smaller pin one can fit into the cylinder missiles, and it's so that you can showcase one of the missiles flaring up and about to launch. It also, the smaller one also fits, there we go, in, oh my god, nose gun. I just knocked all those things all over the place again. And we can come down here and plug it into the nose gun. No, I don't think we can plug it into the nose gun. I don't know if the nose gun is thin enough for it. Let's double check that. Nope. The nose gun needs a thinner one because these are too fat for the nose gun. Now, so we got our 4 TOW missiles here. I think they're the TOW missiles, the 4. So we're going to put down one of the blast effects because I'm just going to have one of each type. Now the TOW missiles, the quad missiles, the 4 of them together, they do take the bigger blast effect. It's an FYI. And also, where's my Stinger missile? There's my Stinger. Here's my Stinger. The Stinger missile also takes the bigger blast effects. Just so you know, they don't hold in there too well, and I am a little annoyed at the world building of G.I. Joe. You keep promising us that we can use these things in other things, Joe engineers. Make it a reality. You keep saying you are. And here I am holding a blast effect that goes in, but it doesn't stay in very well. I mean, it will sit in there, but the moment this Stinger missile from the Cobra Stinger tilts, you can a little sticky tack and you can make it work. But it does fit in there, which is nice. It's just annoying that it's not a tight fit. And I'm just like, come on, guys. I know it will be so much cheaper for you to just keep with the same thing over and over again. So just do it. So the fatter one plugs into the missile pods. Now, I decided on this side because we've got to talk about my favorite accessory. And I set it over somewhere. Let's see. Where's my favorite accessory at? You're not there. Are you over? Move your fat rolls out of the cream. Cream. You're laying on the accessories. Okay, thank you. All right. My silly cat. Now we've got this grenade launcher. Yeah, this guy's got a grenade launcher. And these grenades launch grenades that, where's my clutch at? Here's clutch. Clutch, showcase how these can, no wait, you're Wild Bill. Actually, uh-oh. Where are the sunglasses? Good. Okay, clutch, not clutch. Wild Bill, let's put your hat on, sir. So that you can showcase some things. There we go. Hat on the Wild Bill. Now, I'm going to set this grenade launcher down somewhere. There. Okay. Now, raising his arm up, we're going to use the forearm as measurement. These grenades are as long as his forearm. And they're on this fun little track that will connect from the side of the helicopter into the side of the grenade launcher here. So there's a wider part of it and a thinner part. And you want to put the wider part into the slot on the side of the grenade launcher, and then you'll find the slot. It's a huge rectangle that seems like it should have something shoved into it. And then you have this top rectangle pin. I'm going to move to the underside of the wing here. And it can be a little difficult to find all the slots when you unplug everything. There it is. Okay, so we're going to plug it into the slot there. Okay. Plug in, sir. Okay. And we're just going to rest it into that slot so that we can come over here and actually angle the grenade feed to go into a slot directly under the wing on the side of the. There it goes. Connect that into there, and now the slot plugs in all the way. There we are. There we go. And now you have this cool little feed, and it feeds grenades from the inside of the helicopter of the Dragonfly into this grenade launcher. Pew 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 pew. That grenade launcher is massive. The grenade launcher also uses not the big one. The big one's too big. The grenade launcher uses the small blast effect and plugs into there quite nicely. Sometimes, but it wants to. Okay, come on. There it goes. And we can plug that the grenade launcher in there. And of course, the grenade launcher It can shoot grenades. It just mess things up. I mean, a gun that big on a helicopter is wild. I bet the kickback causes the helicopter to spin. So we're going to set the blast effects off to the side because that's all that's blast effect compatible. Except for the Sidewinder missiles, which I almost forgot to talk about. This is the interesting one. You remember when they were talking about making a missile, a blast effect that actually has a herringbone connection to plug in? So we're going to plug in our Sidewinder carrier thing on the side of the wing. There we go. Plugged in nicely. Now we're going to take our blast effect here. It's the biggest one that came with it. These crazy ones. The ones I was like, what in the world is this? Whenever I was messing around with the, unwrapping everything. I'm going to go ahead and plug that in to the station, and the smoke goes over the edges of the wing. And then we can plug the missile into the front of it. And I think that's just cool. Now, I wish it was a little more versatile. I do wish we had gotten another one of these effects, but for the stuff down here, and especially like a missile effect that could have the missiles flying away. Like this one is a one missile flying away, but a missile effect for the quad missile grouping to allow you to position all 4 of the missiles flying away at the same time. Which I have to say, the 4 missile pod is one of my favorites. Each one of these missiles comes undone, and though it doesn't have as many missiles in its missile pod as the His Tank had in its missiles are very similar to the His Tank missile pods. I actually took off the His Tank missile pods and compared those missiles together. They're the same size, they're the same shape. And this one's going to piss you off a little bit. The herringbone connections for the missiles from the Dragonfly and the herringbone connections for the missiles from the His Tank do not match up. Even though the missiles are the same, and it's like they come from the same factory, like in reality they do. They don't fit in the same connection. So I tried to put a His Tank missile on the same rack as these missiles, and it wasn't fitting. And it's because they did something, they tilted these missiles or something. They did something different with these missiles that they didn't do with the others. And I'm a little upset by that. And that's one of my tiny gripes. I don't have many gripes about this. I just have a couple, and that's one of them. I mean, I've gone over like 4 gripes so far. Oh, so one last item to talk about today. And that item I can actually talk about on this wing as well. I just gotta find it, and it's under cream. I know it's under cream. Cream? No, that's the hat. Cream. Get up. Get up. I'm trying to look for something, man. And you're always... There it is. You weren't even sleeping on it. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's pull off this crazy awesome blast effect with the missile. And there's the example. You can see how the little missile holder piece, which, by the way, what color is this missile holder piece? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to know. I got it in my head that it's clear, and I know it's not clear, but for some reason in my head, it's clear. So we're going to set that bit in there, grab the I don't know if this is a Hellfire or not. I don't know what missile this is. We can go ahead and actually just remove those. We're just going to set them off to the side here. The Sidewinder. I don't know if it has Hellfires or not. I don't know enough about military missiles to tell you the difference. If you know, love to hear from you in the comments. Please let me know. Now let's go ahead and set this up. And this is the winch. And we can plug the winch into one of the 2 slots, either one of the 2 slots in the bottom of the wing. We may be able, let's try it. No, we can't plug it into the herringbone connection. Herringbone connection. I said it right. Into the other side, but this winch does go down, and you can ratchet it down and ratchet it up, and it works with the harness, which is right here. And this harness is wild. We'll talk about the harness when we go over the action figures, and also when I have this thing back on the flight stand, so we can really get into the winch and have some fun with it, because you can't really have fun with the winch when it's not on the flight stand. But the winch here, decent feeling. I do really wish that the winch had some more textures, because it's lacking. It's heavily lacking in the textures, and that's a shame. I think this winch would be cooler if there was some rougher textures It seems like they phoned in the textures for the winch. Unless, of course, winches like this feel perfectly smooth. I would expect some rivets or something on it. With all the rivets and wonders that we've gotten with everything, the winch is a bit of a letdown with how less the texture, how few textures there are on the winch. Um, the grenade launcher, on the other hand, is different than the winch in that the barrel's got all these textures on it. The front of the barrel's got a bunch of textures, like vents and stuff. The wraparounds for the barrels have a few textures on them, especially the bigger one back here. The side of the gun, let's pull off this winch. Actually, I'll just, no, I'll pull off the gun again. There it is. The side of the gun here has got not the part with that adjusts, but the actual gun part's got some really fun textures, and the underside's got some amazing textures too. So does the back end. So that's about it for these guys. Now let's finish this video up by talking about Wild Bill, and I don't know what to do with my Dragonfly in the meantime. We're just gonna sit out on the floor. I got a spot over here I can put it down where it won't get hurt. There we go. Now, let's talk about Wild Bill to end the video out. Yeah, so Wild Bill here comes with a few fun accessories. He comes with the sunglasses, which are kind of a letdown, in my opinion. But joint-wise, he's got a back and forth ratchet on his core. He also doesn't really, he's got a bit of the ball joint ability to allow, at the waist, to allow him to bend sideways. Though you can't really use that joint to bend him forwards too far. I do wish that Wild Bill had a little more versatility in him. They had maybe used more of a ninja core body for him to allow him to reach a few better poses. The arms can move 360 degrees. They rotate at the shirt cuff. No, they rotate at just below the bicep. And double jointed elbows with short ratchets. Double jointed elbows, right? Yeah, there it goes. And the joint is a little stiff for one of the joints. Hands rotate all the way around. He's got these fun gloves texture-wise. I love the textures for his hands. He got this really nice glove texture and little etches on the backs of the glove. And then he's got this shirt that you can feel all the way up. They added little wrinkles and stuff to the fabric of his arm. It feels really, really well done. His vest that he's wearing, I'm assuming it's a vest or something. It's got this really fun strap that runs across it and kind of holds it in place. The thing itself has got a few pockets on it, but it's mainly just open and relaxed, though I think maybe that's a zipper. No, I think this is just a vest that's meant to stay open, and he's only has it slightly closed because of this weird pauldron thing he's wearing around his shoulder and down the side. The left arm and the right arm are both exactly the same in textures, though I think the textures on the underside of the glove, let's see. No, they're the same. So the glove textures are the same. Coming down here to his waist area, by the way, core-wise, he's got some really great muscles textured in there, but not too, not too well, because there's a shirt stretched over them. So I like that there's some muscle showing through the shirt, but not much, because it's a shirt. It's hiding some of the muscles. It's not skin tight. One of his guns fell out. I don't know what happened to it. I'll have to discover where it went, because these guns are falling out of him all the time. A negative I would like to mention about this figure, here's his gun, are rubber guns. I thought we had this conversation, Hasbro. I thought you promised us no more weird squishy weapons. I would like hard 6-shooters. They're 6-shooters. They need to be solid, and I really hope they got a nice paint app. But as the sculpture app goes for this, we don't have anything on the handle sculpture wise. We don't have anything on the side of the barrel really. It's there, but it's slight, and it does feel like a 6-shooter. It's just that the quality of the rubberized plastic they used doesn't really hold the shape very well, and it's not the best in my opinion. I'll go ahead and put that back in there. Now, the the actual weapon holders, the holsters, are also not really the best because both of them do not hold the weapons well. Neither of his weapons are held very well in his holsters, and that is a shame. That you're always worried about these weapons falling out, and where these holsters could be also tied to his lower leg. Like we've seen with some of the holsters, they're left loose to hang to bangle around, and that means while you're getting him into the helicopter, they like to spread out and form a barrier that makes it really difficult to plug him into the seatbelt. Now, moving on down further, we've got his upper legs, really well done with the textures. Though, we come down here to his lower leg area, and we have where he's got his cowboy boots, but his cowboy boots aren't really being shown because he didn't tuck the pants into the boots. He's tucked the boots into the pants. So the pant leg goes on either side of the boots. One second, I need my glass of water again. Pardon me. The pants are tucked into the boots. No, the other way around. And it's all right, but I do wish it was the other way around, where we got those nice boots being shown over the pants. And when we talk about ripcord, we're going to also mention that. On the underside, we've got smooth, not textured. And you may be wondering, like, why, Max? Why is why is this important to be smooth and not textured? Because they're cowboy boots. Cowboy boots don't have any traction on the underside. If you ever owned a pair, and I have a pair of my own, they don't have traction. And they're a little annoying when you get into a slippery zone. But they're mainly made for riding. Now, we're going to move on up here to his head. Because that's, the fabric quality on this is exactly what you would expect from G.I. Joe classified. There's a lot of textures here that I'm not really talking about because they're the same that I've experienced in other figures, and it's par for the course now. Like the wrinkles on the back of the vest, for instance, really well done. The pants wrinkles really nice. It's they do well with their wrinkles. I really like how they manage to do all this cool stuff. Now coming up here to his head, I like his head. I like his mustache. He's got a fun mustache. Yeah, he does. And I'm hoping that's a smirk face that he has. He's got a decent nose, and his eyes are nice too. They feel nice. Let's pull the hat off to really get in there. Yeah, he's got some good feeling eyes. His eyebrows, really well textured on the eyebrows. I love that roughness. Now we come here to the ears, and I've had to put sticky tack behind the ears because the stupid sunglasses he comes with don't want to stay on his face. They're constantly falling off his face. So that is Wild Bill and his two gun accessories. Now let's talk about his other accessories. Let's make sure those hinges are popped in. And you just stand right here, sir. Stand. 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 No. Stand. No, don't stand too far forward. No. Now you're going too far in the other direction. Okay, cool. All right, so over here we should have his other two accessories, which is his hat and his hair, that are separate. If my cat hasn't done anything with them. Here they are. All right, so his other accessories he comes with is his cowboy hat and his hair. Now, the reason they separated these out is because putting his cowboy hat and hair on makes it a little too tall for the canopy to close. So to switch that out, they made it a little different. And I like it. I think it's nice. Now, you can always, if you're ever wondering which side's the correct side, that also is nice to have this so that you can feel the little etchings and know, okay, so that's the side the hair needs to be on. And funny enough, the hat fits better in reverse. It's weird. So we're grab him up and put his hair off. There we go. There's your hair, sir. There's him without his hair. His hair's got some really nice textures. It feels really great. Then we put the hat on in regular style, and it's decent. It sits on there, but it sits a little too far up. Though because of this, you can kind of slide it forward and set it down like he's having himself a siesta. Now we move it around to the reverse side, and the hat does kind of fit on a little better. There it goes. It actually fits on so well, you can hold him by the hat. If you put the hat on the normal way, put it in there, it doesn't hold quite as well as if you turned it around. I don't know what happened there. I don't know why his hat fits better in reverse than it does the right way, unless maybe I just have a QC problem. But let me know. There we go. Oh, nope, he fell again. But if we put it on the other way, it's pretty good. But I'm going to keep it on this way because I don't want to stretch the hat out. I just wanted to showcase that to you, that the hat can be worn a different way. And then finally, we get the sunglasses, which aren't too bad little aviators, but they are annoying because of the fact that one of the legs likes to not be on the ear. And it depends on which leg you manage to sticky tack, which is the other one that won't stay on. But there is Wild Bill, and that was a review of the Dragonfly and its accessories. Please, if you don't mind, go below and do all the things that everyone else asks you to do. Once again, I've been Blind Prime, and this has been Cream the Cat, and I hope that you have absolutely enjoyed today's in-depth review of the Dragonfly and its pack-in figure, Wild Bill. Until next Prime, have a great day. Bye-bye for now. What? Oh, my zapper it ended up losing its battery, so I gotta come over here. Gotta grab you. And now we gotta just do the thing with the thing. Don't even worry about this. Look at the sleeping cat. Yeah, there's the sleeping cat. Watch the sleeping cat as I yeah, there it is. Stop recording. Have a great day.